Number 32, to me, it just holds strong to me because it resembles something that I truly thought he was a Division I football player and should have been, but wasn't. So why can't I carry that on for him after we went through such a rough time in his late high school years?
Clayton was very reserved, very quiet, and Clayton was attached at the hip to Chris.
It was elementary school, straight on the bus, head to the high school, and see my dad, be with my dad, go to practice, and then mom would come I'd leave that practice early for my mom to come pick me up from her work.
Clay grew up in a very successful program. He didn't go hang out in the locker room so much, he hung out in the coach's room. And his football IQ is off the charts.
Growing up, it was just always seeing him coach everybody else, then seeing him coach my cousin, and then my brother, then my other brother, and then me, and then my middle brother at the same time. He was definitely, at times, definitely coach first, dad second. My oldest brother, Cody, he was the guy, like Friday nights, small town, like he was the guy. And that's what me and my other brother, Casey, always wanted to be.
Cody was a pretty special player, and both Casey and Clayton both looked up to Cody.
Having your little brothers there on the sideline, yeah, pretty neat experience. Kind of looking back on it now, realize how special that really was. You know, at the time it was cool, it was neat, but now looking back on it, realize how special that was.
They're like 6 years apart, so during high school and middle school, you're doing a lot of different things. Cody was doing a lot different things than Clayton was, so I would say now they're super close.
Toughest part about being an older brother, I would say setting a good example, but I didn't do that so well. So I think in some ways they benefited from that and seeing all the things not to do.
His junior year, my 5th grade year, a doctor that we had been in relationships with, Cody went to him after having some shoulder neck issues that he thought was normal his whole life playing football. Dr. Kersey just went and listened to a seminar talking about Chiari malformation. Is basically the bottom of his brainstem sits too far down and it can pinch nerves and stuff, but he recognized it right away and that was the end of his career.
You don't believe it at first. It doesn't really set in. Just that whole day I remember not really understanding that it was real, but not really. I think the first game, probably when you walk out there and you're not able to go out there and play is when you realize it. But that first day, just trying to understand what was going on, let people know, telling Casey and Clayton.
I remember we sat Casey and Clayton down and told them, and they both were obviously very upset.
It was very challenging as a family at that moment.
They were going to try to figure it out before, and I can remember the night when he walked in, like my parents told us, when he walked in and told us like kind of what was going on, it just hurt because I knew how much like that sport meant to him, and that meant a lot to me, seeing that come from him and that to be taken from me.
It was devastating to both of them. They grow up on the sidelines. You're watching him play. They love it, and they hang on everything that he does.
Just like to see one of your heroes get taken back like that. It was hard on all of us.
That obviously means a lot because that's who you want to be as an older brother, is a hero to those guys. So to hear him say that, yeah, that means a lot.
The number 32, to me, it just holds strong to me because it resembles something that I truly thought he was a Division I football player and should have been, but wasn't. So why can't I carry that on for him after we went through such a rough time in his late high school years?
For what I thought of when I saw the number 32 and then being able to wear it myself, and then now watching Clayton with it on the field, yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I remember coming here, I had texted coaches that recruited me like, hey, I want 32. I know a guy just left. That number meant a lot to me. But when I came here, I knew that I wanted 32. And I've had chances to change it, but there's no way I'm changing it.
Play action for Richardson, fires it, left side of the field and intercepted by Clayton Coll. Right around the Cardinals' 16-yard line, exactly.
You know, Clayton's always had a pretty serious side to him. Even as a young kid, just pretty driven. But it was like it just kind of, turned up several notches.
Tyler Stockton, the defensive coordinator, told us this week Clayton Coll, one of the smartest football players on the team. He's also a guy, he's played about every position on this defense. He's played safety, played linebackers, played a little D-line. But he said, look, he's the future. Next year, this is going to be his football team. He thinks that highly of him. It
was Clayton's big push to just say, this is what I want to do. I want to do it for Cody. And he was disciplined in really seeing that through.
You could see his size, you could see his movement skills, and you can see how much he loved to compete. And so once we were able to get him here and evaluate him, we knew that, all right, we made him an offer, and from that point forward, we just had to work extremely hard in recruiting to convince him that Ball State was the right fit.
I want to say it was MLK Day. I came here, and Coach New offered me up in his office with my parents there. And I remember just trying to keep a straight face and just not explode and not freak out because it was one of the best days of my life. And then I remember walking out with my parents and my dad's just we're just all trying to keep it together. By the time we got in the car and I just exploded. You know, I just felt like this was a staff that I wanted to be around. This was a university I wanted to be around. It just felt like home. It felt like the coaching staff we have here was like the ones I felt with when I was a kid around my dad when they won championships. When I committed here, I knew I was committed here and I was happy with it.
His work ethic, his football intelligence really stood out early on in the process. He's been incredibly patient, but make no mistake about it, when Clayton's number was called and he started playing a significant role for our football team, very quickly he made a difference for us.
That's been his dream all along. And to see him just live it out, yeah, every time he steps on the field, it's pretty special.
Everybody has their battles. You know, my adversity that I've been through is going to be different than another person's, but those are things that hold strong to me that will be with me the rest of my life.